My sister wasn't just my sibling. She was the backbone of our family's day-to-day life. At 13, she was managing responsibilities that most adults would find overwhelming. Paying bills, translating documents, and navigating systems that seemed like they were built to purposely confuse you. We never paused to reflect on how much she was doing. It felt like routine, like an unspoken part of growing up in an immigrant family. But when she left for college, the pressure she carried for so long began to unravel. The weight of years spent managing adult burdens as a child didn't disappear. It followed her. It built and built until she reached a breaking point and finally sought therapy. I remember feeling stunned. Not just that she was struggling, but that she had kept it hidden for so long, like it was her job to handle it quietly. And as I looked around, I realized her story wasn't rare. It was just rarely told. There are over 18 million children of immigrants in the United States. That's nearly 1 in 4 kids. And so many of them are living stories just like hers. Kids who are translators, caretakers, financial managers, and emotional support systems, all while trying to grow up themselves. We grow up fast. We try to be strong. We smile. We keep going. And we do it in silence. We often hear that the immigrant story is one of resilience. And that's true. But hidden inside that resilience is a quiet cost, and that cost is often the mental health of the children who will grow up in these families. Children like me, children like my sister. We carry our family's hopes, we carry their fears, we carry their survival, and in the process, we lose parts of ourselves. One of the hardest things for kids like us is the constant flipping between two worlds. At home, you're expected to stay connected to your roots, speak your parents' language, honor your culture, follow rules, but at school, on social media, at work, you're expected to fit in, speak perfect English, act like every other kid. So you learn to switch. Maybe it's how you change your accent when you answer the phone, or how you avoid talking about your culture in class, or how you smile when someone mispronounces your name, just to avoid making it awkward. And deep down, you start asking questions you can't answer. Am I too American for my family? Am I too foreign for my peers? Do I belong anywhere? There's actually a name for that stress. It's called acculturative stress, the pressure that comes from trying to fit into two cultures at once. And it doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects your body, your mind, and your mental health. Studies from the Journal of Adolescent Health show that second generation youth face significantly higher levels of anxiety, depression, and low self esteem. A 2022 study from Frontiers in Psychology found that this stress can even cause physical symptoms, headaches, insomnia, and fatigue. So when we say we're exhausted, we mean it literally. And it's not just a cultural pressure, it's everything else we carry. Many immigrant families face financial struggles, such as long work hours and even fear of deportation. So kids like us step in. We become the voice of at the doctor's office, the one who fills out the paperwork, the babysitter, the homework helper, and the emotional bridge between two generations. All while trying to do our own schoolwork, have friends, maybe play a sport, or maybe get into college. We are asked to do everything, and we are expected to never break. But we do break, quietly and privately, and that's the saddest part. In many immigrant communities, mental health isn't a topic we talk about. Therapy, that's for other people. Anxiety, you get over it. Depression, you're just tired. So when we start to struggle, we blame ourselves. We think, I'm just weak. I'm not doing enough, or I'm failing my parents who gave up everything for me. And we carry that guilt like a second skin. I know this because I've lived it. As a first generation son of immigrants, I felt that pressure, that need to prove that the sacrifices were worth it. That pressure manifested into test anxiety for me. Before exams, my hands would shake. My heart would race, and everything I studied would vanish from my mind. And then came the shame. Why can't I handle this? Why am I, of all people, falling apart? But here's what I've come to realize: we are not weak. We are not broken. We are overloaded. We are carrying the weight of expectations, systems, fears, and futures, often without enough support. Our strength isn't the problem, the silence around us is. So, what do? We start by changing how we talk about mental health. Mental health is not a luxury, and it's not optional. It's about survival. Kids from immigrant families need support, not just by any support. We need therapists who understand our cultures, schools that teach about mental health in ways that reflect different experiences, families who are open to listening, to learning, and to growing. And we need more representation. We need stories like ours on TV, in books, in classrooms, and on stages like this one. But when you hear someone say what you've been too scared to admit, you finally feel less alone. So if you're a teacher, a coach, or a counselor, your empathy could be the first crack in someone's wall. If you're a parent, please listen without judgment. And if you're a kid like me who's felt all this pressure and pain, know this: you are not the only one. It's okay to feel tired, and it's okay to ask for help. You're not failing anyone by feeling human. Let's all tell new stories, not just stories of grit and hard work, but stories of hearing. of hopeness, of softness. Let's build a world where children of immigrants don't just carry their families, they get to be carried too. Thank you.